so far on the
11.
electronic one, it
Oh,
doesn't
wow,
change.
11 years, wow.
Yeah, that's right.
So
No, 8.
that's a miss that we got.
2008. I
2008?
took over in
If people have the right to give
2007, and
us
Jeff was on.
Okay, good morning. It's now 9 a.m. and the monthly meeting of the Fairfield Glade Community Club Board of Directors will come to order. This morning's meeting is open to all members of the Community Club and is being recorded for viewing on the Community Club website, and we're also live streaming this morning's meeting for member viewing. And to honor America, please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence to remember those who are serving in uniform and defending freedom. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Pat, would you please call a roll to the board members?
Mr. Cox?
Here.
Mr. Floral?
Here.
Mrs. Galloway?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mrs. Miller? Mrs. Storr?
Here.
Mr. Wedgeworth?
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have 6 board members present, therefore there is a quorum.
Thank you, Pat. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the prior board meeting held on July 28th?
Motion to approve the July 28th minutes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Pat, the minutes of the July 28th, 2022 board meeting are approved. This morning in the audience we have a couple of distinguished guests. First we have our 6th District County Commissioner, Joe Sherrill, is here. And then this morning, the mayor had a scheduling conflict, so he sent his boss, Rebecca Foster, who is also the district representative for Congressman John Rose, so she is here in the back. I'd like to share a few comments this morning from across the board.
Colleen's here.
Is Colleen?
She's hiding.
I'm sorry, my apologies. Colleen Mall, our 9th District Commissioner, is back there. I mean, it is very hard to see you back there. All right, so let's start with the across-the-board comments. We've started the annual process of developing our budget for next year, and it's no secret that next year's budget process will be more than challenging and will be much more challenging than we've experienced in recent years. The ongoing supply chain challenges and the record level of inflation continue to drive higher prices on everything we buy. While we can hope for the best, we are obligated to plan for the worst. So as we face the uncertainty of 2023, we'll proceed with cautious optimism. The Community Club is in the people business, and personnel-related costs is one of our largest expense items. As we look ahead to 2023, we are anticipating that wage increases, including cost of living adjustments, will result in additional expenses of approximately $1 million. While we have developed relationships with third parties to leverage our buying power with our vendors, we are anticipating that we will also see significant increases in operating expenses. To offset these anticipated expense increases in 2023, we will need to leverage all of our revenue streams, rolling over any 2022 revenue surpluses, embedding operating efficiencies and performance targets, and evaluating amenity usage fees to minimize any countywide assessment increase. We'll continue to pursue our philosophy of pay to play that places the responsibility to cover amenity operating expense on those who actually use the amenities. It is important to remember that in 2022 there was no community-wide assessment increase. The economic challenges we will face as we develop the 2023 budget will be significant, yet due to the exceptional financial condition of the Community Club, we remain cautiously optimistic that 2023 will be another very successful year. This year, we'll elect one director at large, the interval owner timeshare representative, and the developer declarant representative to the board. We have 3 candidates for the director at large seat. They're Hank Henning, Bruce Horn, and Karen Schreck. Electronic and manual balloting began on Monday, August 8th, and ends on Friday, September 2nd. The results of the election will be announced at the 2022 annual membership meeting held at 10 a.m. on Friday, September 16th. The newly elected members of the Board of Directors will begin their term of office at the annual membership meeting. As community club members, each of us has the responsibility to do our homework on each one of the candidates. The candidates' applications are posted on the community club website. Each of the candidates has had an opportunity to respond to a series of questions from the election committee, which are also posted on the community club website, as is the recording of the Meet the Candidates event. Research their positions on the topics you feel are important, and then make an informed decision relative to which candidate deserves your support and, more importantly, your vote. The outcomes of elections have consequences, and the future of Fairfield Glade depends on your participation in our election process. We have stressed that the current rate of inflation is significantly affecting the cost of construction. We have reevaluated all of our current and proposed 2022 and 2023 capital projects to assess their priorities to keep expenditures within our capital expense budget. And here are the latest updates on our major capital projects. The Racket Center is complete except for some additional landscaping. For Robin Hood Park, we have assessed the initial construction bids for the next phase of the Robin Hood Park expansion project for a pavilion with restrooms, bocce ball courts, and hard surface paths. We are planning to proceed with the initial land clearing work this winter. The timing of our next steps in the process will be deferred until 2023 due to the rising construction costs. The current cost estimates for the Heatherhurst Clubhouse renovation exceed our project budget, requiring us to defer actual construction until the end of the 2023 golf season. The funding for the St. George Marina building project has been reevaluated, and while we are planning on installing the new metal roof this year, since we did not see an increase in the costs for this portion of the project, we will defer the remainder of the project until the fall of 2023. The Druid Hills planning team continues to work on the initial planning process to determine what the next Druid Hills Clubhouse facility should provide for our growing community. The land use consultants report is being reviewed by the board and will be presented at the annual membership meeting. The plan will only show how the land can be best used, and there will not be any building details or floor plans in the report. The Food and Beverage Subcommittee survey was completed on August 15th, and the response was very good, with over 2,000 community members responding to the survey. The Food and Beverage Subcommittee is in the process of analyzing the results of the survey and will report on the results of the survey at a town hall meeting in the September-October timeframe. The Food and Beverage Subcommittee will be scheduling focus groups to have detailed discussions about what the community wants to see in the new Druid Hills Clubhouse. There will be a second survey after the focus groups for the entire community to share their opinions on the requirements for the Druid Hills Clubhouse so that the recommendations can be developed and decisions made on the building's final design. The Golf Committee has completed their visits to other clubs' facilities to get ideas for the golf requirements at Druid Hills. The Golf Committee is in the process of developing recommendations for the club-related requirements for Druid Hills, and these requirements will be presented to the board, to the golf leadership team, and the entire community in the September-October timeframe. Members who would like to share additional comments regarding the Druid Hills project can reach out to the Druid Hills planning team by sending email messages to the planning team at druidhillsprojects@fairfieldglade.cc. Information concerning the Druid Hills Advanced Planning Team is also available on the Community Club website. This August across the board is the final message from your current board of directors. Next month's message will come from your newly elected board members who will take office at the annual membership meeting. So on behalf of each member of our current board of directors, we want to express our gratitude to each of the community club team members. Your individual dedication and daily commitment to providing our members with the service they expect and deserve is what makes their member experience memorable. Working with our exceptional senior management team has truly been our pleasure. Each year it seems that no matter what financial challenges we face, somehow our senior management team finds a way to deliver performance that exceeds our expectations. We are grateful to our general manager, Bob Weber, for his advice and counsel as we have faced unique and challenging situations. His experience and guidance have been both welcome and very valuable. And where would we be without the dedicated support of Pat Davis? Pat, you have once again kept us on track and documented every step we have taken. We couldn't function without your exceptional support, so thank you. We also want to take this opportunity to thank one of our own, Jeannie Miller, as she departs the board, for her contributions for her 2 terms of service to the community. We will miss her unwavering commitment to improving our food and beverage operations and always advocating on behalf of the quality of the member experience as we continue our deliberations. Not only has she been a valuable member of the board, but she has become a good friend to each of us. Jeannie, thank you for your commitment to making Fairfield Glade a place we can all be proud to call home. And finally, we want to thank each of you, our members, for your support. Special thank you to the 100-plus members who volunteer to participate in our committee structure. Your expertise and the time and effort that you contribute to our decision-making process is invaluable. Collectively, it has been our pleasure to serve as your board of directors, and personally, it's been my honor and a privilege to serve once again as the president of your board. And that is our August update from across the board. The treasurer's report.
Thanks, Ken. Good morning. Refer you to the handout that you have. Fairfield Glade Community Club financial results continue to be strong through the first 7 months of the year. From the balance sheet, which is attached in sewer, we have $4.5 million of total cash compared to a little over $3.5 million at the end of July of 2021, which is a positive variation of over $920,000. For the Properties Owners Association and amenities, we have over $2.5 million of capital cash, plus $6.8 million of operating cash, for a total of $9.4 million of POA and amenities cash, compared to a little over $7 million at the end of July of 2021, which is a positive variation of over $2 million. Now, if you look at the cash flow sheet, sewer has a positive year-end forecasted budget of $36,000 after 7 months of operation, with revenues continuing to be driven by increases in tap fees and new home starts as compared to budget. On the negative side, sewer continues to experience increased inflationary costs for materials, especially grinder pumps and parts. In POA, also continues in a positive direction year to date, with a year-end forecast variation to budget of over $611,000. Open positions account for the majority of those savings, aided by a reduction in bad debt due to increased collection efforts. On the expense side, we continue to see higher than expected insurance and utility costs, which are the major expense increases. In the amenities, we're also positive year-end forecast variation to budget equal to a little over $60,000. Golf continues to represent the majority of the positive variation forecast of at $115,800, driven by 4,100 more rounds than budget to date. We continue to see increases in cost of sales and F&B as inflationary pressures continue. POA and amenities combined year-end forecast variance after 7 months of operation is favorable to budget by over $672,000. Our financial performance through the first 7 months is very strong, and our forecast indicates we're going to have another good financial year. Does anybody have any questions? Tom? Could you go to the microphone so that folks at home can hear your question, please? Thank you.
Just in light of Ken's comments across back to and ask the question of, to get a sense for that as members, why can't we see the monthly financial statements for the various amenities? Thank you.
Tom, everybody, tell me what it is you're referencing as the financial statements.
For me, the one interest is obviously food and beverage.
So it's the food and beverage
Financial.
dashboard that we hand out quarterly?
Yeah. And the same thing with the other amendments,
Okay.
amenities.
Okay, all right.
You know, especially we're hearing inflation cost, you know, so for example, food and beverage.
Right.
Cost of sales.
Right.
We had a price increase in July.
Right.
What was
Okay.
cost of sales versus previous?
Last month, you know, you got the year-to-date dashboard for F&B, remember?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, the year-to-date versus the monthlies, and not to get into them, but monthlies changed dramatically, like July's
Okay.
probably did.
So you just like to have that included monthly rather than quarterly?
Yeah, I mean, as members,
I'm not
Help us
asking,
understand.
I'm not asking the members, I'm asking you.
yes, I would
Okay.
like to.
All right,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Discussing POA fees, could you tell us how many lots are in arrears on their monthly payments, excluding the county-owned lots and the community club-owned lots?
I will get you that information. I can't give you that off the top of my head, but I'll send you the information.
All right, thanks, Bruce.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, General Manager's report, Bob?
Okay, just have a few items. The asphalt road paving is complete now, and we still have some striping to do, but as a reminder, we only stripe the collector roads. We do not stripe the neighborhood roads. Still no word from the county road superintendent as the timing on our chip and seal program. So we're hopeful after the new road superintendent is in office, we can see some activity out here, but we'll keep you posted as we have more. Year-to-date golf rounds through last month were about 86,100. That's about 4,100 more than budget. For the year, average rounds per course per day open were 114 compared to 116 in 2021. And with respect to our yard curbside waste program, we continue to do that in September. Still looking for some long-term solutions for a site where we can have people take their refuse there, that is their limbs, you know, sticks and leaves and what have you, but we haven't found the appropriate site at this point in time. And that's all I have.
Okay. Barb, the resort update.
Good morning. Wyndham timeshares, month-to-date, there have been 34,320 visitors. Month-to-date, 2,073. As far as revenues, the center, 12,973, which is 5% of like revenue. The sports center is 7,842,000, which is 5%. Dartmoor, 91,968, which is 44%. St. George is 16,480, which is 22%. Golf is 399,414, which is 9%. Food is 247,399, which is 26%, for a total of 789,904, which is an average of 13% of like revenue. Thank you.
Thanks, Barb. Tom, if you've got a question, step up to the microphone.
On those reports, Barb, thank you. They're interesting information for me. What I'm curious is their numbers. How do they compare against last year? What are we seeing? Contributions to food and beverage, to golf, to number of visitors coming. That gives us the texture of what's happening in the community. Thank you.
We're ahead this year, I think, of about $20,000. Not
Yeah,
much, but
I have that information available. It's a report that we get that I think Barb gleans her information for this year from. But last year through July, 782,000 total. So we're up about 7,000 in total, and it was 14% of like revenue. Where you really had the big increase this year is in food and beverage. Last year through July, it was only 153,000. This year, 247,000. And golf actually is down. Last year was a 470,000, and this year 393,000.
Okay, the architectural control report, Sam?
Thank you. The architectural control reports as follows. Miscellaneous approvals, changes to established house, year-to-date is 645, through same time last year was 1,138. New homes approved year-to-date was 77, last year was 65. New homes completed year-to-date is 73, and last year is 52. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have no unfinished business on the agenda for today, but we do have some new business. We have 4 purchase requisitions that the board will consider this morning. The first one is for a police department vehicle in the amount of $31,200. And Kate is not here, so Bruce, do you want to introduce that?
Yeah, that PR was actually approved in July, and the reason we handled it that way was that we had a car that simply broke down, and we needed to replace it. And so, as we've done previously, and we've talked in here, we've found a company in Chicago, Chicago Motors, that handles previously owned police cars, I'll call them, because they're in great shape. And so the police department asked that we approve some money to get a car. So what I did was I got the PR and I emailed it to the board and asking for their vote on whether we should do this now. They all unanimously said, yes, go ahead. And so we went ahead and gave the police department permission back in July to get that car. They have it. It's in service. And so what we're doing today is, for transparency's sake, is voting on this to just confirm the board's support for the purchase of that police car. So I would make a motion that we approve the $31,000 for the police vehicle that was bought in July.
Okay, is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Bruce, could you, if I understand it right, this is a used vehicle with like 12,000 miles on it?
Say again?
This is a used vehicle?
Yes.
Or what?
Yes.
I think that would be important to add.
Yeah.
Comment.
I thought I did.
Where you're saving money.
Oh, absolutely. I thought I did, but thank you. It was used, yes.
You mentioned it yesterday.
Okay.
Okay, is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion to approve the PR for $31,200 for the purchase of the police department vehicle is approved. Now, we're going to have 3 other PRs this morning, and Dave Miser, who is the chairperson of our Major Capital Projects Committee, is going to introduce those 3 PRs.
Okay, so 3 PRs today from the Major Capital Projects Committee. The first is for the St. George Marina roof. As Ken's already commented, the price of the metal for that roof has not increased. The vendor has kept his price since we first got the proposal. And so this will be the first step in a facelift to the St. George Marina. So the new roof will match color-wise the St. George Pavilion. It will not match the profile, but it will match the color. And so this PR is for $23,940. The second PR is for a high-pressure hydrant. This will be installed at the marina, I'm sorry, not at the marina, at the Stonehenge maintenance facility. And the purpose of this is that Crab Orchard Utility District, they are not required to supply enough pressure in their water lines to adequately fill our tankers quickly. And so this will give us that capability to do that. And this is a first of more planned if this works out the way we think it will. And so that requisition is for $27,000. The third one is for HVAC controls for this building. The controls are old as this building. Most importantly, they're proprietary, meaning that only trained can service them. So we will be going to controls that any HVA company could handle. Another reason we're doing this is that part of this will be a modeling of this building in an attempt to bring down the cost of utilities in the building and have better overall control of the air conditioning and heating of the building. So this is for $82,925.
Okay, thank you, Dave. So let the St. George Marina roof replacement, may I have a motion to approve that in the amount of $23,940?
Yeah, let me just add to what Dave said. This is the first step in renovating that building down there. And again, because metal prices aren't going up, we thought at least we could get that out of the way this year. And then we'll look at doing the rest of this project in the fall of this time next year is what our hope is. So I'll make a motion that we approve the $23,940 for the St. George roof.
Okay, is there a second for that motion? Okay. Is there any discussion, John?
No.
No? All right. All those in favor of the motion to add the roof to the St. George Marina in the amount of $23,940, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Oppose.
Okay. Is the motion then carries for the PR in the amount of $23,940. The next item is the high-pressure hydrant project in the amount of $27,000.
Make a motion that we approve the high-pressure hydrant in the amount of $27,000.
Okay, is there a second to that?
I second it.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Yeah, again, I'll just make a few comments about that. We went down with the Fairfield Glade Fire Department and looked at this issue, and their concern was that in today's present condition, for them to fill tankers, it takes quite a while. And so we did, the MCPC did a lot of research about how can we fix that problem? Well, we came up with two solutions. One is the irrigation systems at all the golf facilities have high-pressure pumps, and they're readily available to us, and they pull out of the lakes. The other option would be to actually put lines into the lake and establish a separate feed system to do it out of the lakes directly, but then you run into silt issues and those kind of things. So our conclusion was the best thing to do was to tie on to the irrigation systems and use the high-pressure pumps there to fill our trucks. The other thing is if the fire, which I hope we never have, but if it's close enough to one of these stations, we can literally use that hydrant. It's a normal hydrant. We can literally use it to fight the fire. And so we're going to use Stonehenge as the start, and there are several. I think there are a total of 5 locations we've identified all around the Glade, all the way from Dorchester, up to Heatherhurst, and so we'll have locations spread around the Glade for either fighting a home fire or, God forbid, a forest fire. And so it's going to be a quicker way to fill the trucks and get them to the fire. So I think it's a great project for the protection and safety of Fairfield Glade.
Okay, so may I have motion to approve the hydrant project?
We did that.
We did that.
I was just discussing, so now we do.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the project for the high-pressure hydrants at $27,000 is approved. Then we've got the HVAC controls for the center.
Yeah, then I want to comment again. This is a really good project. As Dave points out, these controls are since 2008, I think, is when the building opened. So they're 14 years old, and being an electrical engineer, 14 years with control systems is forever. And so we did an engineering study and got this taken care of. Two of the major costs in this building are electricity and natural gas. And so the MCPC, by finding this out and putting this project in place, created another project, because I'm going to challenge them now to drive the utility costs in this building down. So they got one project done, and I've turned around and given it right back to them and say, okay, now put the system in and then let's drive the utility system down. So we'll see how that works, Mary Jo, and see if we can't get some of your costs down in utilities. So with that, I will make a motion to approve the $82,925 for the HVAC controls.
Okay, is there a second to that motion? Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the HVAC controls for the center in the amount of $82,925 is approved. The next item on the agenda is the update from Fairfield Glade Resident Services, and this morning we'll recognize Phil Birdsall to present that update.
Thanks, Ken. Bruce Horn is listed on your agenda as being here with his usual report. He could not be present this morning, so I was chosen to come and make this report. Again, my name is Phil Birdsall, and I just want to say parenthetically before I start, I can't help but say this, that I have some fond memories of listening to this report made by my friend Pat Grouet for the entire time that I sat on this board. And I just need to assure you that I am not going to be as entertaining as he was. I've been on the FGRS board now since the first of this year, and I can now say with certainty what we've always said as a board, and that is that we appreciate the opportunity to serve this community, the support we've always had from the community club, and in particularly, we appreciate the opportunity to make this report every month. My purpose today in this report is simply to bring everyone up to date on where we are right now as we basically come out of the impact of the pandemic. And in order to do that as quickly as possible, I'm going to actually read the report. Our transportation program, known as Way to Go, continues with as many as 50 volunteer drivers taking residents to the grocery store, to medical appointments, to the beauty shop, and to other essential places. A team of nearly 20 volunteers runs our Welcome Home program, which welcomes new residents. These volunteers fill information bags, deliver the bags, and where possible, interact with our new residents. Our Caring Connection program deals with the tougher aging situations that come up. More than 15 volunteers on this program bring cheery smiles to those who have limited socialization. They help to solve home health issues, advising on community resources available to meet various aging issues, and supporting caregivers with occasional respite visitations. Of particular note this month, Phil Taylor, our tireless Home Safety Assurance Program coordinator for nearly 4 years, has recently retired from that position. With the help of numerous volunteers, this program has helped dozens of aging homeowners stay in their homes safely by installing things like ramps, handrails, grab bars, and the like. Phil always had a very, very positive working relationship with the ACC office, and we anticipate that this relationship will continue with our new coordinator, Gary Willert, who will be the face of this program for the foreseeable future. Our new police chief, Kate Self, and FGRS have had a very positive working relationship for some time, so naturally we were pleased with her recent appointment as chief. Right now, we are working actively with the police department to promote participation in their emergency contact information program. In addition, as some of you are well aware, the upcoming Safety Day on September 1 will find FGRS working closely with the Alzheimer's Association and the police department in the distribution of Vials of Life, Silver Alert program information, and Yellow Dot program materials. Now, Safety Day will be held in the police department parking area on September 1. We just received word from Christ Lutheran Church that as of yesterday, there are only 3 out of 28 foursomes slots left for the September 18 Memorial Golf Tournament honoring FGRS founder Ken Schoening. Some may recall that in 2008, Ken and Joan Fredericks approached this board to do a social needs study of the Fairfield Glade community. And it was the results of that study that led to the creation of FGRS. Anyone who is interested in oops, got to turn my page here. Bear with me. Anyone who's interested in filling out the field in this tournament and taking one of those 3 remaining foursome slots should definitely register soon. Bear in mind that a substantial portion of the proceeds of this tournament are being donated to FGRS. Now, if anyone would like to have more information about our activities or to explore volunteer opportunities, please feel free to visit our office, which is in the strip mall behind the Dollar Tree store. We're open mornings 5 days a week. Our phone number is 456-7272, and our website is www.fgrservices.org. I hope that helps people know what we're doing. I hope it helps you appreciate that we always welcome your interest and your willingness to volunteer and help. And again, I thank you for this opportunity.
Okay. Thanks, Phil. At this time, we'll take any comments from members from the floor. And so please move to the microphone and identify yourself and give us your address.
I'm the other Phil Smith. I'm president of the Veterans and First Responders Memorial here at Fairfield Glade. And I just want to take a few minutes to first of all thank the board and the club for cooperating fully with us and sending out the email blast a few weeks ago announcing our brick and engraved brick program. And we launched that, and we're very happy with how it's proceeded. It's primarily been a test to see if the system works. We're doing most of the ordering online, and you can order bricks for those that you choose to honor, want to honor, on our website, which is the vfrmemorial.com. And the system works. We've had some little glitches that we expected, but we were able to work those out. And the nice thing about it is that if you want to order a brick, you can go online, you can see what the brick will actually look like, and you can design it within the parameters and make changes so you get a chance to look at it. So if you're interested in it, if our membership is interested in it, I encourage you to go online. Second, with construction, we're still waiting for a permit from the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. We hope that in the next few days, few weeks, that we get this permit, but we are waiting, and then we will work in collaboration with the community club in clearing that land and getting it ready. Our initial bids that went out were way out of sight, and we were advised, and we've taken that advice, to serve as our own general contractor, which we are going to do to save a substantial amount of money. It might be slower, but it will nevertheless get done. So I want to, again, just thank you for your cooperation. We'll continue to keep everybody abreast of what we're doing. This is going to be a wonderful asset for our community. It's going to take a while, but we're going to do it right. It's more important to do it right than to do it fast. And it's going to be here for a long time, a lot longer than any of us are going to be around. But the memory of those people will be here for quite a while. And those people that have served us as a veteran, as a military, as a first responder, we all have personal relationships and experiences with those individuals. And that's just our chance to say thank you. So, thanks.
Thanks, Phil. Are there any other comments from the floor? Okay, then I'll entertain any comments from members of the board.
I have a couple here.
Okay.
I want to give a couple comments about Druid and that project. Number one, as Ken pointed out in the across the board, we will be presenting the land use consultant's recommendations at the annual meeting on September 16th. So those of you that would like to see that, please come. But I also want to make sure that we set the expectation, as Ken did in the across the board. You're not going to see floor layouts. You are not going to see building plans. You're not going to see pictures of buildings. What you're going to see is the areas that we think, and the land use consultant thinks, are the best use of that land over there. So that's what that's going to be about. So I want to make sure everyone understands that you're not going to get in there and you're going to see a whole bunch of layouts and that type of thing. The second thing is that the conversation for that day will be really around the land use consultant's report. We won't get into an elongated conversation about food and beverage or golf facilities or that type of thing. It was our hope that we were going to have the committee's report out at the annual meeting, but the survey just completed last week, and really the F&B committee is looking at the results of that survey and talking about it really today. So rather than rush and try to put something together that would be a halfway attempt, we think it's going to be better to have a special town hall on those two topics for golf and for food and beverage, where residents can come, share their concerns. The committees will report out where they are and what they're doing. In that regard, I also want to try to dispel a factoid. Okay, a factoid is something that sounds like a fact, but really isn't. So we've got at least one of those going around. That probably is a shocking statement to make. But the one I want to talk to specifically today is there's been a number of questions about, well, the board has already decided what they want to do over in Druid, and therefore there's no use participating in any of these things because, quite honestly, they've already decided. The only thing the board has given to the committees, and especially the Food and Beverage Committee, was the direction that was given in the strategy document that was released last February, or this past February, where the board said it's going to be a sports bar and grill motif. That's the only direction. Now, a sports bar and grill motif can be a whole lot of different things to a whole lot of different people. As a matter of fact, I would challenge us if we went around and asked today, each person in this room, what do you think that looks like? We'd probably get different opinions as many people as we have in this room. So the point here is that what I really am pushing for and making sure that people understand, no decisions have been made. And it's important because one of the things, especially the Food and Beverage Committee is going to be talking about, is starting focus groups and community interaction with other stakeholders about getting their opinions what goes in those buildings. And we really mean that we want your opinions. Nothing has been decided, and it's very important that people understand that we're really asking the community to participate in this. Those ideas that come through, yes, some of them are not going to work. Some of them will work. A lot of them will probably be good ideas that we will going to have to think about and act on. But none of those decisions have been made, and I want to make sure everyone's clear about that. So thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
You have a question, Tom?
Just so I'm clear, if members of the community really are concerned about the direction where they didn't have input, it was on the strategy point, and they should come to the board meetings, right? And express that to the board, not to the food and beverage.
Right. The strategy piece is different than the food and beverage. The Food and Beverage Committee is a subcommittee of Druid Hills. Their only charge is to look at what's happening in the food and beverage area at Druid, with the understanding of what the strategy document said. which was basically, it was going to be a sports bar and grill motif. And picking up on that, the other little bit of a factoid I want to also speak to is a survey that went out and was responded to with over 2,200 residents from the Fairfield Glade. It was never intended to get all the requirements for Druid. What it was intended to do is give us a base of where we currently are in terms of people's thinking about how they use the facilities here and how they use restaurants around in this area. That's why you didn't see specific things, well, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that? That was never the intention of that survey. The focus groups, and probably a likely survey that will come out later, will get into those level of details, because now what we want to do is gather what the requirements are and get the community to say, yeah, we agree with that, or no, we don't. So that's going to be the purpose of the actions going forward. Thank you, Tom.
Okay, any other comments from members of the board? With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second to the motion? Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion to adjourn is passed. We stand adjourned.
We, no, well, we will, but it won't be as enjoyable.